Hi, I'm Himani Garg. Today I will be presenting the case study in social media. I have trained a text generation language model to generate news headlines text. That is, likelihood of occurrence of a word based on the previous sequence of words used in the text by using Keras module Python libraries and analyzing the 2017 to 2018 article dataset of New York Times. The technologies I have used is Anaconda and Amazon Web Services. Anaconda has by default Python and Jupyter Notebook installed, and rest of the packages can be installed by using pip install command. As we can see, if you have to install Keras, you can use pip install Keras. For Seaborn, you can use pip install Seaborn. For Matplotlib library, you can use pip install Matplotlib. For configuration of the AWS, how to set up and configure it, you can refer the PDF provided in the Lab 5. The PDF name is given in the slide. To train the model, I have used the data set which was present on the Kaggle site for the New York Times for the months of Jan to May 2017 and Jan to April 2018 months. The data contains two CSV files, one for the articles on which comments were made and one for the comments themselves. For article, there are 16 features and more than 9,000 articles. We don't require the comment files for the same. Now file structures look like this. We have article word count, byline, document type, headline, keywords, multimedia, new desk, print page, publish date, section name, snippet, source, type of map, and web URL. So we can see here like what's the column metadata. Abstract summary of article, article ID, unique ID of article, article word count, count of words required in an article, byline, the author, document type, either it's blogspot or article. Headline, article headlines, which is required in our model. Keywords, article keywords, new desk category of article, print page, page number it was printed, publish date, section name, subcategory of article, snippet a small piece about article, source what was the article source, type of material was having the categorical values which like numbers 1, 2, 3, which I don't know what was that, and web URL from where article was scrapped. After analyzing the files, we need to make a data set in order to train the model. Let's see how we will do it in Python and what are the steps after that. First step is to load all the libraries. Once it's done, we need to prepare the dataset. How we are going to do it? We will concatenate all the files into one data frame using pandas library. Once it's done, let's check the few rows of the dataset. And we can see the size of the data frame. It's now 9335 rows and 16 columns. Let's see few rows of the headlines. We can see there are some punctuation marks, some words are in capital, some letters, and some are in the smaller. So it means some cleansing is required. We will be removing some rows which have no headlines. After this, we will converting all the non-alphanumeric characters with the white space and converting the text into lower form. Once it's done, we will load all the headlines data into an array. Because in Keras, all the format is required is array format. Let's display 20 lines of the array. We can see now all the punctuation marks have been removed and everything has become in lowercase. Rows with unknown have been removed. After cleansing the data, let's do some data exploration by visualization, like distributions of word counts per article. We can see there is some skewness here. After this, we can analyze what are the top 10 lengths of the headlines. The highest length of the headline is 175 words, and after that we can see most of them are between 125 to 110 length. Now let's see what are the most occurring words in the headlines. We can see Trump, finding, dreaded, forgotten, destructions are the commonly occurring words. Let's do tokenization of data. What does tokenization means? For text generation, input data is a sequence. Based on that, next word will be predicted. In order to do that, first step is tokenization. Tokenization is a process of extracting tokens from a corpus. After this, every text document in the dataset is converted into sequence of tokens. For example, headline NASA blast off Mars lander. So we will be converting this sentence into n-grams. N-grams means more than or two or three words, like NASA blast. It will be given a sequence, number assigned 60, 117. Then NASA blast off 60, 117 and 98. Then NASA blast off Mars 60, 117, 98, 21. Then NASA blast off Mars lander 60, 117, 98, 21, 43. We will be doing it using the tokenizer object, tokenizer library, which has an object tokenizer which we have instantiated in the first line. After that, a function has been created to generate the sequence of tokens. Let's run this. We can see now the same type of sequences have been generated. Now visualize the top occurring and low occurring 20 words in the headings. In order to do that, first remove these stop words, because stop words will be the most occurring words. So we can see that most occurring words are Trump, season, episode, year, questions, president, today, home, don't, and frequency of low words is infestation, 400s, initial, junkie, requires. It just gives an idea that what words are frequently used and what are the top occurring and top lowering words. After that, we will be padding the sequences and obtains our target and our predictors and labels. So what we will see to generate why we require to pad the sequences, because Keras accepts only the equal length of sentences. And for that the function is pad underscore sequence. After this, we are going to create predictors and labels for text generation, the n-gram sequences. How we are going to do it? Let's see an examples. Years after the financial crisis. The predictor will be year, label will be the word after that, after. Then years after, the label will become then the. After that, years after the will be predictor and the label will become financial. And after that, years after the financial crisis will become the label. Now let's make a function called padded underscore sequences, which will make our in order to that we will find the maximum length of our input sequences and we will just pad them with the zeros. After that, we will be creating the predictors and the labels as we have described above. Once predictors, labels and has been done and we have found the we have created the sequences, we will define the model. For modeling, we are taking LSTM because They have an advantage over the other neural networks that it allows the neurons to remember what we have been learned so far. In this problem, while we are learning with the large number of layers, it becomes really hard for the network to learn and tune the parameters of the earlier layers. So we are using a special type of RNNs called LSTMs, large short-term memory, and model have been developed using one input layer which will be taking the sequence of word as input, then LSTM layer which will compute the output using LSTM units, and then dropout layer, a regularization layer which randomly turns off the activation of some neurons in the LSTM layer. It helps in preventing overfitting. Output layer computes the probability of the best possible next word as output. So LSTM model can be seen in this diagram. So here is my input layer and I have defined it as a sequential. Then I have added one embedding layer, my LSTM layer, an output layer, and I am finding the loss using categorical cross entropy, and optimizer will be Adam. We can see how many parameters we are using, trainable parameters, but I will be not using the test dataset. Why? Because I am modeling the entire training dataset to learn the probability of each word in a sequence. Now I will run my model for the 50 epochs. As you can see, it will be going to take the longer time. We can see the loss of my model was around 0.56, between 0.56. It has become stable after 50 epochs, and before that it was running around 0.57, 0.58. So it seems that epochs were okay. Then we will make a function to predict the word. That will be the last step. We will first tokenize the seed text, whatever we are predicting. Then we will do doing the same manner, pad the sequences and pass into the trained model to get predicted word. The multiple predicted words can be appended together to get the predicted sequence. The function I have made is called name with name generate text. Again, I'm using tokenizer, then I'm padding them with these sequences, and whatever the model I have made it before, I'm predicting the classes. I'm passing the token list from there. So let's try some predictions. I have just passed few of them like Bitcoin share, Olympic Games, Indian economy, and these are the words which have been written after prediction. Bitcoin share, the choice to keep. Olympic Games of squash without the. Indian economy is ready for. President Trump risks the planet world. Data science need a solution for the temptation of positive. It seems that predictions look fairly fine, but result can be improved further, like adding more data, adding more LSTM layers, running it for longer epochs. The lessons I have learned is that you should know whether you have to do the sequencing as a pre or post because it hurts your performance. And in my case, pre has worked out. And this can be improved further. We can add more layers and run it for longer epochs to see how it's improving, but with the time limits I was able to do this much, and it was a good learning experience. Thank you.